Hi, this is for my 2007 Nissan Xtrail, it's a UK model. You see my one fog light on the left hand side is corroded. It's also a review of the fog lights themselves, which are basically off eBay, £29 for the two. You can see the quick clips, you've got to do a couple of those that just pop out with a screwdriver. And then there's also a Torx head screw. And then the wheel arch liner doesn't need to be removed completely. Just do this at the front of the car, and you can pull it backwards, so you can actually gain access to where the fog light is mounted. You don't need to remove the whole of the wheel arch liner. Just as far as I'm aware, just these two clips and the one bolt. I can't remember doing any others. There's the Torx head, which is a T20. And then pull that out. Bend it back, push it back in place, or cable tie it if you need to. But once that's back so far, you don't need to jack the car up. I have jacked it up in this video, but you can actually do this with the car on the floor. Just lock the wheel to the left or the right, depending on which side you're doing. The right hand side is slightly more difficult, but I'll show you that towards the end of the video once I've fitted these. Basically, there's two bolts that need to come out. When you remove the light by just rotating it 90 degrees left, the bulb itself, that clips out, and then there's just two bolts, and which are 10mm, and then the light comes out. So you can see here the old fog light corroded inside. Obviously it's like a plastic chrome effect, so I don't know how you'd get that re-chromed. It's not actually worth it for the amount of cost. The reason that one had gone is that when I took it apart, you'll probably see on the photo or video, that wasn't actually seated properly. Whether there's something wrong with it, or whether just put it in completely wrong, I don't know. Oh no, it will fit. So there you go. That wasn't put in properly. It was sort of hanging out. So, but luckily, thanks to the world of eBay, we have an aftermarket version at the right hand. £28 for a pair. Non-OEM. Looks pretty much identical. Not going to cause a problem. And it even comes with a bulb. So that's two of those, one for each side. If you're going to replace one, you may as well replace the other so they match. There you go. Quite nice. So let's work out which one's which and fit those. So that's the one I've just taken off. It's hard to see in the camera. That's come off. That's got to go on. So the old one, that wasn't fitted in properly. If you look, there's a wider lug on the light, just there, which goes into that wider section there. That then clicks round and clicks quite securely and stops at that point. Why whoever fitted it before didn't fit that correctly, it would have saved me doing all this work, but they didn't. There's also an adjustment here to adjust the sort of uppy downy tune of it all, which I'm not sure if that's going to be on the top or the bottom once this is fitted. We'll find out in a bit, but obviously it's going to be a lot easier to do that at night when you can see where the lights are pointing. But what I found is that the alternative brand one, the eBay one, is generally identical, and they've done a good job of making something like that, apart from this bit at the back, which is where that goes in, which is where the water's going to leak in. So how long these will last for I don't know. The moulding on that is just not really the best. You can see around there, it's just not brilliant. So you've got the wide section there, the wide bit goes into there, and then it rotates, but it just stays loose, and you can't actually keep rotating and click it past that point if you push it hard. I don't do that too many times because it will make it worse and worse. But that's just not as secure. It will actually turn quite easily. You know, you don't need much force at all to undo it. So I might just make sure I cable tie that in place, which is a bit bizarre when the rest of the casing is okay, but the original one clicked into that position and is then actually relatively stiff to undo. Bizarre. Look at the right hand side, and that feels the same. It works, but it is a little bit loose. So maybe I'll just make sure that the cable going into it can't push it sideways at all. that if anything the cable's trying to pull it in the tightening direction. But again, you've got the adjuster, so you can obviously adjust whatever that adjusts. I don't know if it's the rear mirror or the actual position of the bulb, I don't know. It looks like the rear mirror, it looks like the bulb's fixed in position. Yeah, the bulb's fixed because it ball mounted just onto the case. So that must just alter the angle of that rear mirror very slightly. So I'll leave them where they're set for now, and then if I have problems when it gets dark I can line them up and check. So back to fitting this new one then. Maybe I'll fit the new item and the new bulb as well. Before you put it on, of course, clean the bit that you'll never get to. And then we mount that from the rear. So you can see where it fits. There's the wire coming down. I'm guessing it's taped like that from manufacturer. And just push onto those two connectors there. The one bolt's significantly further back than the other. Let's see if I can show that. Yeah, the one on this side is actually further but towards the rear of the car than that one. So that will determine which way that fits on. There's also a little lug here at the bottom, just there. And that is where that piece there goes into. Okay. The other thing on this casting I've found is that these holes again are not cast fantastically well, or moulded I should say. It's not a casting. So I'm just going to widen those out just to make it that little bit easy to push on. Just going to just push a hand drill through them, just open up by 1/2 mil or so. So look closely from the front, everything seems okay. You can see a little tiny don't quite know what's going on there with the camera. There's a little tiny gap there that you can see through, but nice and clean. Obviously when you're away from the car you can't see any of that, looks fine. Go to the original one and you can see the same on the original. A little like hole there, some sort of a water vent or something. So it fits as good as the original. That's the driver's side one, which is milking over a bit anyway. So, but you buy these in a pair for about £28. Might as well change them both. Just put all that back on, push all the clips in, and that one Torx screwdriver. Nice and simple. Just pop that inside the wing, don't forget. And as good as new. This is the driver's side, basically the same, two 10mm bolts, and the wheel arch is the same to get it, the wheel arch liner. The only problem is that the water supply for the washers for the headlights and the windscreen is in the way, so it's a little bit more fiddly. You can still do it without jacking the car up. You just need to actually lie on the floor so you can see underneath. There's the water reservoir. And if you see, there's still enough room. I'm going to put the camera underneath to actually get your hand in there and undo the two bolts. So I bought these off eBay, the details are there. You can now get LED versions of these, mine just the normal ones that take the normal bulbs.